like this check case.
They slide nicely, huh? So I can still not find it, honestly. Where is it? Do you know?
No, I don't.
Okay, anyway, then we have no time.
So we are ready.
Let's have a good match.
Good match, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, look what you got here. You got Wilcox Snelling, Michy, Mochi, Kazuki, and a whole bunch of other great players, many other world champions. Joe Russell, Mark Olson, Sander Lylov. I mean, the list of the players here is just will blow your mind. Okay, you can hear me. Thank you very much for letting me know. What I was saying earlier is I did not like that cube. I thought Michy had an easy take, and I wasn't sure it was a double. So if somebody saw that and has an opinion, I would love to know what they think. It certainly is looking pretty good right now. A 5 prime is almost as good as a 6 prime. When you have 5 in a row, it's pretty much hard to defeat that. Now here's a very interesting play. He's going for the trot. Even though Michy has a good board, he thinks he can win a lot more gammons by stopping him from anchoring. Well, that part didn't work, but the good news is you've got a back game with bad timing. That's about the worst game you could have. A back game with not good timing. I'm slotting. I'm leaving it there. If it comes out with a 6 and wants to hit me, that's fine with me. I'm leaving that point. I'd like to make it. If he doesn't roll a 6, I'd like to get hit if he does. I would have slotted. I guess he feels there's enough timing anyway, or enough shortage of timing anyway. I would have been hit. And I would still like my position. But certainly if you know he's going to roll this, his play was better than mine. I don't see an alternative. A cute play, Jim Pasco play would be 6 to 3 to 1. Go for the throat. This is clear. You'd much rather be at the edge of the prime than behind it, not at the edge. And this play, you just spread them out. I mean, that 3 and the other one 2. Spread them out so you have the most hits and covers and flexibility. All right, 3-1, you slot. Now the 1 is a real question. I come up. I think the checker on the 2-point is more of a liability than it is an asset. But nobody's going to know this play better than Michy. And he obviously knows it better than me. Plays itself. Forced by logic is what I call this kind of a play. I would have come up with that ace, and he may be regretting it because the first time he rolled a 6, he'd like to get out of there. His play is more of a play to win the game. My play is more of a play to not get gammon. So maybe that's why he wins more than I do. Do you hit? I think you have to. If you don't hit, sure, you have to hit. It's an automatic hit. Ooh, 2 is nice, but he has no timing for this game. It might even have been right to come in on the 3. Really, but again, Michy did it so fast. He's got it when Michy or Mochi or somebody like that makes a play real quick that I disagree with, that I know I'm way off. I would have been tempted to come in on the 3-point with the 3-2. Ah, he still thought he had a chance to win, and look at this. Look at this. Well, I'm coming in. I don't see an alternative. That's it. What else can you do? I guess what else can you do? And there it is. This might be right, but I wouldn't do it. I like this. Unlimited covers. Unlimited. Impossible not to cover. Nobody's going to roll a double 5s or 1s. All right, this game is a question of whether it's a gammon or not for the most part. I told you it was a great cube, didn't I? I come off the 6-point. Oh, you know, it isn't that bad to come off the 5-point, get a checker off. Gammons aren't assured at all. This might be right. It's double 6, double 5, and 6-5 would leave a shot if you take off the 5. The other way, all your high numbers in 3s are 6-3. No, that's it, about 6-3. Yeah, I think you got to take it off the 6. I think you have to do this. Too many shots the other way. But it's always tempting to get another checker off. When in doubt, peel, but that time I would have done his play. I finally agreed with a great player. Even a blind acorn finds a hog sometime. All right, you just run. You don't waste pips when you're trying to get off a gammon. See? Just run. No other checker that makes any sense to play with. Forced by logic. Oh, I was going to just say, Michy needs some big rolls. Double ones is not what he wanted. The odds of getting and hitting a shot now go way down. He's just thinking about how do I race and not waste pips. So he didn't waste a single pip there, so there was no reason to run from the back and give your opponent some crazy numbers like double ones. It's got to be both off the top. Sure, too many numbers would leave a shot otherwise. He's certainly going to run with one. He's not going to waste a pip here. There you go. And there's no one. This game is over. The question is gammon. And it's going to be close. It's probably a gammon unless Michy can perform. What a great double. I really love that double. Of course, I'm kidding. I would have missed it. Maybe it had something to do with the score. That's different from money. I'm so used to playing for money. For those of you who aren't real seasoned players, a money game is what we also call an unlimited game. You play one game and it's over, then you go on to the next game. Matches are much more complicated because every time you score, it affects the next game because you're playing up to a certain number of points. So most of us learn what's the right thing to do for money, and then we learned how to adjust it based on different scores where gammons are worth more or less and the disaster of winning versus losing changes. Does he play the one to the ace or do you keep going? These are almost a wash most of the time. I think it's a wash, but I could be wrong. See, he could play it 2 to 1 so that aces get off. Now aces won't get off, but 4s and something gets off instead of 5s and something. So it's a trade-off, and I think it's about even in this situation, but I don't play games when I see this. I don't play games. I'm playing backgammon. I would count the number of rolls that win with one play and count the number of rolls that win with the other. So now if he rolls a 1, he's dead. And he has to roll a 4 or higher. And it didn't matter. Double 6. Didn't matter. But what was right? Obviously, Michy's play had to be right or it's a tie, and you can bet your house on that. He's just such a great, great player. He and Mochi both, and Kazuki now, and Hideaki. I don't know if Hideaki's here. I haven't seen him. Kenji. Akiko, of course. So many great, great Japanese players here. That's what I need to do. I can become a great player. All I got to do is change my name to a Japanese name, and I could be on that list. Why didn't I think of that sooner? Phil Simborai. I'm Phil Simborai from now on. I'm one of those top Japanese players. Well, that was a big save for Michy. Turned out to be a very good cube. I still want to see it, though. I didn't like the cube. Casper, who I really respect, said Michy's play was right. But I bet you the difference is 0.04 or something. But still, it's important to get it right. You feel sick if you make the wrong play there and you roll the 1, or you don't roll the 4. Do you blitz? Are you playing a blitzing game or a priming game? Well, I like the priming game, but where's the 4? That's the problem with it. I like this play. If you don't get hit with the 5 here, you got a very, very strong game. A 5 or a 1-6 is all that hits it. This is a very strong game. Now this, I can see a double. But he's winning and he's just rolling. Here I would have thought more about the double. What's going on here? It's backwards. He doubles when I'm not sure, and he doesn't double when I'm fairly sure. Boy, oh boy. It's like the same problem I have with my anatomy. My nose runs and my feet smell. It's all backwards. Okay. Here's a lesson. Do you come up with the 2 or not? I think you do. You either make the 11 or you come up. I think you come up because there's not a lot of ammunition. It looks like there's a lot of ammunition, but since the 7, 8, and 9 points are all stripped, and the 5 points stripped, I don't think there are that many pointing numbers that don't leave a lot of return shots. However, he minimizes the chances of getting a second checker back quite a bit by making the 11 point. Is there another play? Are we missing something here? All right, he doesn't come up, and I would have. Here again, I don't know why my Michy doesn't make more of my plays. I just don't understand it. His PRs are nowhere near mine as a result. Now you make the bar point or the 4 point. It's a better priming game to make that bar point right now, and those 2 outside checkers can hardly get hit, only a 3-6. So this is prime versus prime. That's one of the best ways to beat a prime, is to prime it, is to counter prime. Make white run out of time first by making a better prime. And here you can make a 5 prime. There's a risk of getting hit, but it isn't as bad as the reward. Oh, there you go. But see, even though he got hit, it was worth the risk. I guess if he knew he was going to get hit, he wouldn't have done it, though. There's still no cube. Stick taught me a long time ago, all normal prime versus primes are takes. And how do you know when they're doubles? Oh, Hagen's Law. You're going to lose your market 25% of the time under normal scores. You have a double. But they're almost out takes. This might not be. He's not doubling. He's so sure he's got some bad rolls here, but not that many. And he's still got to get that back checker out. Is that a good roll or a bad roll? That's a good roll. I'll take that roll. I wouldn't throw that in. Throw that away. If Michy dances, he might be too good. If he comes in with 1, it's probably a double. I think it's too good. You take a shake and hope you get a 3. Oh, 3-6. Wow. Now, when I say too good, what I mean is that Yan is more likely to get gammons than he is to lose, especially on that next roll. There's not too many things that can go wrong. If he doesn't roll that 3 in the next roll, he could probably still double the next time. But you can see why going forward without the cube is a smart thing here. He's very likely to win 2 points. Now the odds just went way down, by the way, but he can still always double whenever he wants to and take and cash or take that point. So I like this play. I like this decision. I might be cashing very soon. When your opponent has 2 checkers back like this, in fact, you could put this in X3 right now, and black will get gammoned about 18-19% of the time. If all of his checkers were in, it would be 15%. So there's not that many gammons. Now, how often does he win? He wins about 18%. But that's not all you look at. You look at what can happen on the next roll. Is there a market gainer? I mean, only if you're going to roll a 6-5. That never happens. And he hits a 6. Now it's a market gainer. Okay. And you can still double them out right now if you want to. And I'd be very, very tempted. Especially winning 2-0. I'd be a little bit more conservative. I don't need the gammon as much. I would be doubling here. I guess you don't have too many rolls. What is there? 6, double 5? No. Double 6 and 6. Yeah, double 6. What else leaves a shot? So if almost nothing leaves a shot, you may as well take a shake. But I think you're likely to be doubling out next time anyway. I would just give the cube. I'm coming in with the 2. And taking it off. I don't like this. Now he's got a potential for a double shot with a 6-5. And now I double. You're going to be very sorry if you roll a 6-5 here. Very good. Double. You're just not winning enough gammons to be worth the risk. And since you're ahead in the match, you don't mind taking 1 point. The farther you are behind in the match, the more you really want to try for gammons. And when you're ahead, you're happy to take a point one at a time and just grind it out. I like the cube action there. I might have doubled the roll before, but I'm more of a chicken, I guess. Now, why did he bring 3-2 down instead of splitting? Because he's behind. He's playing gammon go already. He's thinking, I need to get more gammon, so it's right with 2-3 and 3-4 to bring him down. If he was ahead in the match, he would split. It's a very important lesson. And you think about these things before the first roll, because that first roll changes depending on the score. You don't wake up in the middle of the match and say, oh yeah, that's the score. I've seen people do that all the time. Somebody asked what brand of board they're playing on. It's the brand is actually the Galaxy board. They're Galaxy boards. I forget which model this is called, but it all depends on which surface they put on it. They're made by FM Boards out of Turkey and licensed to Backgammon Galaxy. So go to their website, backgammongalaxy.com. You'll see a lot of boards. And if you bought this board, you can change the surface many times. It's a great board. Plays very well. I played on it many times. There are many, many great boards out there. It's a matter of what you like. Some people hate wooden boards. They don't like the clicking sound. Some people love the leather boards because they're softer. Just a matter of personal taste. I helped start the FM company. FM stands for Fouat and Mete. Mete was my very close friend, and I helped them. I made suggestions on how to design their first wooden board, and board number 2 they gave me as a gift. I'm very proud. It turned out to be a great company, and it's doing very well. They make beautiful boards for the money, too, for a very reasonable price. Okay, it's certainly more important to make that point than your 5 point, because his checkers have escaped. Boy, I hate to throw a checker away like that, but I might have been tempted to play 6-4. I don't know. I'm sure he's right. I mean, I don't bet against Michy. 2 up, 2 down. You're winning the race. Just race. And you're winning the match, so play conservatively. Don't fool around. That's it. This is your best chance of bringing your checkers home safely, and that's all you should be really caring about when you're winning the race. I don't like this because now his checkers on the 18 are going to be tough to dislodge and get home safely. I like this first play better. Somebody said, Tapio, so there are lots of world-class players, but the question is there enough fish in the tournament pond to make it big? You better believe it. We keep talking about all the great players here. What about the rest of us? And by the way, what's your definition of a fish? To Mochi and Michy, almost everybody's a fish. It's all relative. But it's not just about winning. It's not just about the money. It's not just about who you can beat and what your equity is in the tournament. This is the World Championships. We're here to crown a world champion, and it's a title that's never taken away from you. And everybody who's ever won one, you ask them what they're most proud of, and they're going to tell you it's this. Well, the hit's automatic. The 5 is problematic. I know what I do. My gosh, I don't do that. I would come into the 6 point because it's the fewest shots, gives me more covers, and I'm wrong, obviously. That's why I'm sitting here and Michy's playing. I would have gotten that wrong. This is a pretty big play. I guess when your opponent's on the bar, he might roll something like double 4, so you want to make a big play. Somebody mentioned Jake Jacobs' book, Can a Fish Taste Twice as Good? It's not just Jake Jacobs. That was written by Jake and Danny Kleinman. Jake told a lot of the great stories that are in that book, and Danny did all the work. Not that Jake couldn't have done the work, too. Jake is my dear friend and mentor and longtime super friend. And Danny is one of the people I respect most in this game, too. His math skills were legendary way before there were computers to help us. Great book, by the way. It's still recommended, especially with the stories. And a hit. That's a very good come-in roll. This cube is not going to stay in the center too long. Oh, I was just thinking Yan will be able to cube very soon, but not when he's dancing like that. Michy, are you coming out? Yes, you are. And hitting. And a dance and it's double pass, is it? Might be. At this score, yeah. No, I think it's double pass at this score. Is he thinking he might be too good? Use Woolsey's law. You ask, is he taking? If the answer is no, you ask if it's too good. I agree with this cube, and I agree with the pass. You're winning 3-0. Why risk giving away 4 points? Just give him the point. Oh, he took it. Wow. At this score especially, I think that's a pass. And I've never been wrong on cubes like that, except the last match and the one before that. Wow. I want to see that one. It's just too gammonish, I think. I love the cube. Does he hit or does he cover? I think he covers. And where's the 2?
Possible. But not good.
Yep. Yep. That's pretty clear. It was a pass. Thank you, Reese. 0.057, which is not huge, but it's a clear pass. So that's actually 2 that I've nailed. Mark Olson took a cube earlier that I said was a pass also, but that was a 0.4 pass, so that wasn't too hard for me to be right about. And it's unbelievable that Mark would make a blunder like that. He was really mad at himself. Just a normal day for me. Wow, how do you play a 3-1 here? The dice gods are so nasty. Oh my God. 1s and 3s that don't duplicate his covers. He's 4s and 2s to cover, and he's not duplicating either one. And his 6s hit this 2. I can't believe this is the play. Put it back and let me look at the other options. There's no such thing as a good or bad play in backgammon. It's only better or worse than the alternatives. So what's the alternative here? Oh, I see the alternative. Just come into the 6 point. Give him 3s and indirects. How can anything be better than this? This has got to be the right play. So far, and every tough decision, Michy has not taken my play. That tells you something about his game, doesn't it? Wow. He's just looking at these options. This is a little better because 3s and 4s hit and at least 3s cover. You're always looking for duplications. That I thought this play was clear. Leaving 1 blot, fewer shots. I thought that was automatic, really. But a good player sees 1 play, a great player sees many plays, and a super great player only sees 1 play. The difference between the great player and the super great player is they're different. The 1 play they see is different. That's an easy point to make, but now, you ever heard the expression temps, T-E-M-P-S, too many points? Michy's got too many points. How is he going to play his next 6? And even 5s don't play too well, and 4s don't play too well. This is a really stiff position. It's too many points, but I don't think he did anything wrong to get there. I just recognize that it's just a bad setup. You almost don't get out of this unless you roll doubles or get lucky and not get hit, like he didn't get the play before. Okay, there we are. See what trouble he's in? Just like I said, he's in big trouble when he made that play. But he rolled the perfect roll. Okay, now you count pips. You're losing 0-3. The race isn't good enough to double, and you still also have action. When I mean action, I mean that there's a possibility of getting a shot and hitting it. Now, he's thinking about not making that point because, again, he would have a stiff position and hard to bring home without leaving more shots. He has 1 goal. How do I bring this home without leaving shots? Actually, 2 goals. How do I get to a good enough position where I can double and I don't even have to worry about leaving the shot because he might pass? But when I'm losing 3-0 in a match tonight, I don't care that much if he takes. I have no idea if this play was right. I see pluses and minuses like many plays, and I hope he's right. If it's Michy, it's probably right. When you have an average PR of under 3, you're not making too many errors.
Proved its value.
I think Michy's on the verge of, I was going to say he's on the verge of a double, but this hurt the race quite a bit here. That took away his cube. I think he might have had a double with a normal roll from Jan at that last roll. Just play quietly. That's it. Nice roll. Nice roll. He's preparing to hit. What other 3 could there be? Give me the logic here. I don't understand. He thinks there's no way his opponent's going to leave a shot next time, so let's preserve my 5s, I guess. He might tempt me to leave a shot on purpose. Maybe that's what he's trying to do. Okay. Every intermediate player and beginner would immediately bring the checker in, and then the next time you roll a 6, you leave a shot. So he's saving a 6 so that he won't have to leave a shot if he rolls a 6. You bring the checker in, you got a problem with just about every 6 but double 6 and 2-6, because 2-6 doesn't play. I think he should preserve 6. I think his first thought was right. I like this better than bringing it in, because Michy doesn't necessarily have to leave the shot now. If he rolls anything under a 6, he can break his board also and play off of his 6 point with 5s and 4s. I like this play a lot. Or 2. See, as we said, I'm now a we, because I'm in France. Oui. Big roll right here. Small roll right here. I'm happier to leave the 6 point open because it's easier to clear. And if your opponent comes in behind you, and if there's a hitting exchange and he comes in behind your checkers, you can't get another shot. So I think you play 6-5 here. He did. Finally, Michy, we agreed on one play. Isn't that a record? Look how smart it was to save that 6, which I also agreed upon. That 6-1 would have been a killer. Would have been double and take. Oh, there's a killer anyway. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Double 6 is blocked. Okay. He's got 17 numbers that hit, not quite half. If he doesn't hit, he's probably a loser, so you got to hit. I mean, you got to roll and hit. And it's double pass if he doesn't come in. Not enough gammons here. See? He double pass, just like I said. He's playing on just to make me look bad. You doing this on purpose, Michy? Can you hear the stream? Is he doing this stuff to make me look stupid? STOOPID? I would have cubed him out. Come on, leave a shot and get hit and prove me right. He wouldn't do it. I would have doubled him out. Just not enough gammons here. But the risk is small. The odds of leaving a shot and getting hit isn't that. Oh, he already cubed. What am I thinking of? I'm sorry. Thank you for that comment. No wonder he wasn't too good. You already gave the cube. That's because it's a brown cube that matches the wooden cube that matches the frame. I like those really bright, colorful cubes. I have a collection of weird cubes. So sorry I missed that cube. They're going to take a dinner break soon, and I have to go to this crappy restaurant called Nobu. Nobu. Have anybody ever heard of that? I think they have hamburgers there. I wanted to go to White Castle, but they don't have one in Monaco.
Single.
We have a decent choice of restaurants if you're willing to pay $300 or $200 for dinner. Okay. That evens up the score a little bit more at 6 away, 7 away. It's pretty much like money now. And I bet you if Michy rolled a 3-2, he wouldn't do what he did last time and bring 2 down. I bet you he would split.
Yep.
Oh, we almost found out. When I say split, I mean move a checker off the back. Split it up. That's called splitting. Coming down would be moving from your corner, the 13 point, and the upper corner coming down into your boards. Coming up would be moving from the 24 up. Slotting a point means putting a single checker on a point in the hopes of making it later. Making a point is when you put 2 or more checkers on a point so that the point is now yours and you can't be hit. Fours, 1, 3, double 2, 5, 3. There's the 4. And he's going to anchor, I would think, and he does. Anchor means making a point in your opponent's board, usually a high point. It's an anchor. A low point is more like a canker sore instead of an anchor. Sorry, I love puns. If you don't like puns, turn the volume down. Somebody said, what's the best way to improve? I'll tell you what I did. I started practicing and just kept playing for 78 years, and it's helped pretty much. That's the best way to improve. But there's no question in my mind that the reason I became a teacher is I tried reading books. I got help from mentors. I played against the computer. I tried everything, but teaching and taking lessons from a really good teacher will get you there faster than anything else if you can afford it. It's not cheap to get a really good teacher. My first teacher was Oswald Jacoby. After that, it was Kit Woolsey, Paul McGrill. I got a lot of help from Jake Jacobs and friends in Chicago, Neil Kazaros, Howard Ring. Then Perry Gartner became my mentor and teacher. He took me from a 10 PR to a 12 PR in almost no time at all. But books are great. It depends on how you learn. Depends on what type of a student you are. Some people learn by reading. Some people learn by kinesthetic, by moving, and some people learn by auditory, by listening. The best way to learn is to combine all 3. That's been proven many times. Yeah, they said I went from a 10 to a 12. I was kidding. I think I went to a 13.
3-all.
Okay, we have a tie match. 6 away, 6 away. I would play this just like money for the most part, but recubes get a little bit trickier, so you might be a little bit more careful on giving a cube that is likely to get recubed, or it's easier to get a recube in. Slotting with the 2-1. Amateurs would never make that play. It's clearly right, and we didn't know it was clearly right until the computers came along and proved it to us. With a 2-1, you have a lousy racing number, so you're trying to build a prime or get into a hitting game. With a 4-1 and a 5-1, it's not that bad a racing number. And there's other reasons, like you don't have good 6s to play if you get hit. With a 2-1, you got a great 6 to play if you get hit. That's one of the big reasons why you slot with a 2-1, not with a 4-1 or 5-1. Do you hit or make a point? The reason he's making the point is he's outboarded. His opponent has 300 board points. His opponent is saying, I want to play a hitting game. And he's falling right into his trap because he's going to get hit back with a lot of numbers here, just about everything. fours, fives, ones, 7 combinations from the bar. My dear departed friend Bob Urquhart and I came up with a formula on how to count how many shots there are from the bar that's very, very fast and accurate. But I forgot the formula. So start from scratch. No, I know the formula. It'd take me too long to explain it to you right now. But I can count shots from the bar probably as fast as anybody in the world because mostly Bob's ingenuity, and I helped perfect them with a couple of exceptions that we had that he couldn't figure out. Bob was from Austin, Texas. He's a student of mine. Just a great guy. We miss you, Bob. I could spend all night talking about the people that I miss. That's what happens when you get old like me. A lot of dear departed backgammon players that we miss. And you can't go to Monte Carlo without remembering Patty Rubin, who ran this tournament for many years and helped keep it alive, make it the great tournament that it is. A point's a point. Anchor's an anchor. And there's no really good alternative. And it's not so bad to get hit with a 5 here if he has to come up. Look, he can hit it with a 5. I think that's a 5 too. If he hits it with the 5, he's got a very brittle position because you come in and hit back, he's in big trouble. He's thinking about not even hitting. Unless it's a 4-2. I think it's a 5-2 though. There's a little glare on the dice for me. No, it's a 5-2. That's why it was so good to come down with that checker. You want to tease your opponent into coming off there and hit you. And, the tease might work. Michy fell for it. Come on. Well, now he only gets hit back with 2s. That's not so bad. You don't have that many. There aren't that many return shots, really. This worked out well. Look at this. Wow, I don't know about that play. That was very, very bold and quick. Wow, to volunteer that 4 instead of moving from the back, that was gutsy. I'm not sure. I might have made it, but it would have taken me a while. Holy cow. I want to look at that play. I really learned something from that. It's not like he's desperate. The score is 6 away, 6 away. He could have played up to the 20 point. That probably would have been my play.
Nice try.
For those of you who were listening earlier, Morton Holmes got a book where you can bet, not quite yet, on your favorite player or bet against your ones you don't like. And we'll post the website. But he did ask me to say, when you go to that website, it's going to say, warning, this is not an approved website. You sure you want to go there? Just keep saying yes. It's not going to hurt your computer. You're not going to crash. They're just not sure because they don't know who Morton Holm is, and it's a betting site. So, but Morton Holm's good for it. He's got the best reputation in backgammon for paying his debts. You bet with Morton, you'll get paid. Maybe if you bet more than 20, 30 million, you might have a problem collecting for a while, but you might take him a couple days. Is this a cube I see before me? Look how quickly he doubled. And I'm not sure whether it's a take or not. He's going to hit him with 1s and 5. 5s are duped. 5s are duped. This might be a take. It wouldn't shock me to see if this is a take. Now, the time to give a cube is if you're not sure. So I'm not sure it's a take, though I'm sure it's a double. He's put pressure on him, very definitely. It's a very, very good cube. Again, what's the perfect time to cube? When it hurts. When it feels hard to decide whether to take or pass. I think I would lean towards passing, but I wouldn't be shocked at all if it's a take. Wouldn't be shocked if it's a take.
To start a fight under the table.
I think he's passing and explaining it.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Clock has stopped.
Wow.
Yes, he passed.
Maybe
Okay.
This is the first time.
I think I would have passed it too, but I would not bet on it. Although if I was playing Michy, I'd take it because I have to gamble. That's a good gambling cube. Not a lot of skill involved in playing that for Yan. He's going to be forced to anchor or not anchor, and one or the other is going to determine whether he wins mostly. So I would have probably taken it against a Michy or a Mochi or somebody like that. Somebody like that. How many people are like that? Slot the 5. You're not duping 4s, but at least you're putting a checker where it wants to be, and you're not creating a new blot. 6-1 bar point. There was a part of me that wanted to hit there, stop him from making his 5 point, but he doesn't always make the 5 point when you don't hit. I now say 4s and 8. I think it ahead of time. That way I won't miss it if I roll it. Well, there's the 4 you could hit. What else could you do? Make the prime, make a 4 prime? If the hit's clear, and I think you either come out or down or around or something. See, I was right about it. You came out around or down or something. Slotting your 5 point, or do you split the back checkers to have more flexibility? Those are tough. Part of the reason you slot, though, is you unstack your 6 point. One of our basic principles in the early game is get those checkers moving off of your 13 and 6 points. You got too many checkers there. You don't need them all. Okay, I know my play. That's the 1 and 4 down. Let's give him a 4. I know there's 8s also. There's a 5-3 and 6-2. So there's 11 4s plus 5-3 and 6-2. That's 15 numbers. If you don't get hit, you're in very nice shape. What a horrible play he made. You never should have done that. Got hit and covered. That was my play, by the way. I'm being facetious. This is not pretty. This is not pretty, but I think you have to come out. You don't want him pointing on you inside. And you want to hit and slow him down. Come in with the 1, hit with the 4. The hitting battle until you can't anymore. Here we go. Keep hitting, baby. I love these games. Somebody ends up in a back game. And I love back games. That's why I invented. And by the way, I saw some posts lately about Pasco-Gammon and how Jim Pasco invented that. The hell he did. I invented Pasco-Gammon, and I named it after Jim Pasco in his honor. And I also invented O'Hagan's Law, Woolsey's Law. I'm just a nice guy about those things. No, but Pasco-Gammon is my invention. It's a big back game, and it's a lot of fun, and it will help you really play back games and understand the game. And it's just darn fun to play these variations. Helps your game. Phil, do you like the no dice on the checker rule? I am against dice on the checker rules for one reason and one reason only, because the United States was the only place doing it. So I would rather keep it simple and have everybody do the same. I don't think it's that big a deal. So why have different rules? Why get confused? Let's just all play dice on the checkers, no good. The other thing I don't like is when the dice are on the checkers, then you get into arguments of whether it's being supported by a rail and whether it's cocked or not. I think if you were going to play dice on the checkers, you should play the rules properly. You should do it like Vegas. Doesn't matter if it's a little crooked. As long as you can clearly see what the dice are, even if it's a little cocked, play it. Go all the way or not at all, but not halfway. You never hear them call cocked dice at the crap table. As long as they know which dice is up. Sometimes I've seen them make calls about which dice is up that I didn't like. But usually it's pretty clear. Come in and hit. You got to like Jan's position here. He's going to come in and hit again. Michy's going to anchor now. And then Jan's going to be glad he didn't double. Because an anchor is just a big thing here. Oops. Now now. Oh, he's not even thinking. He's not even thinking about the cube. Oh no, maybe does he think he's too good? Well, I would certainly have given a lot of thought to that cube. Wow, I think he missed a cube. Hossein likes dice on the checkers. I agree. If everybody was doing it, I'd like it too. My brother and I we used to go look at the dice when it's on the floor to see what it was, and then we'd play it. Why should we waste time rolling over? Time is money. All right, it's clearly way too good to double. Oh, what?
Okay.
Huh?
3 checkers on the board.
What? What am I missing here? How can this not be too good to double? How can this be? And Michy's looking at it?
Yes, it is.
I think Michy was looking at it to tease him. I think that's why Michy was looking at it.
5.
He's playing games with him. How could that not be too good to double? You got 3 checkers back on the ace. Maybe that's the reason. Could it be the score? I do not like that cube. At least I would have thought about it longer. I'm never wrong when I say I would have thought about it longer. That's always a good thing to think about. 3 on the 24 versus 3 on the bar. Who is that? Itzcock? Thank you for the comment. So dice on the checkers when you're bearing off and you have to roll on the side where the bear off is. You solve that with a baffle box and put the baffle box on the other side. Every game should be played with a Phil Simborg baffle box. Or one for Backgammon Galaxy. Wow, this is very aggressive. Wait a minute. Is this the same guy that doubled last time because he didn't think he was too good? Obviously a very good cube.
3, 6.
Got a very quick pass by Michy. There's some inconsistencies in what I'm seeing here. Or there's some major gaps in my mind. But that's the beauty of having XG feed. You can know right away what the answer is, and we're going to have that on this stream going forward in the actual World Championships. What you're watching right now is the preliminary Open tournament. It's not the World Championships. And you also are looking at a consolation match right now. This is, and they're still playing their hearts out because they have pride, and there's still money involved. Well, that's a great roll. Again, at this score, if I'm Michy, I'm playing Gammon Go. If I'm Jan, I'm playing Gammon Save, and he's already got a great Gammon Save position. When you make your opponent's 5-point, when you make the 20-point, it's the golden point. You don't get Gammon very much from there. And you can still win a bunch. And that's exactly the position you want to be in when you're ahead in the match. I like this play. I think the 3-point is kind of weak and lame at this point. Plus, you're cleaning up a blot in the outfield. If that's the 5, where else can the 3 be? You know, he answered it. But why wouldn't you rather make the point? I see. Again, you're tempting him off the 20-point. If he hits you, he has to probably give up the 20-point. And I guess that was a big enough factor to make Michy want to make that play. I would have missed that. I would have made the blocking point because now it's easier to bring him home. But Michy found a way to make use of that checker. So in the chat, I see somebody owns 2 Backgammon Studio baffle boxes. What do you need 2 for? My good friend Malcolm Davis always had 2. When he had a chouette, he had each side have their own baffle box, and they rolled on the opposite sides. And I loved it because I sold twice as many baffle boxes. At this score, this could be a double. even though the anchor's there, there are not going to be that many gammons, but you're losing. And if you just lose 1 point, you're not very happy anyway, but you're really unhappy if you win 1 point instead of 2. Because at this score, it's big to win 2 points. To be an even number away means that on your next game, you can double and win the match with the cube and a gammon. So I think this could easily be a double. I think it's an easy take. But I'll tell you one thing that amateurs do wrong a lot. They're winning and they drop too many cubes. And when they're losing, they give too many cubes too fast. But I would have given that cube. So out there, who do you want to bet on? Me or Michy? I'd have to get about 10 to 1 odds, and I'm not sure I'd get any takers. I think Scholastic Backgammon is Mr. Slotsky, our Israeli-Belgium friend, who's a professional musician. Musician, not magician. Well, he is a magician with the dice, though. Okay. Market loser. Goodbye. It's all over. Just play safe. Just bring 2 down, go to the ace, and double pass. I think the race would be out of reach. If it is, that's your play. Otherwise, you might hit and make the ace point, or hit and make the 3 and 4 point. But then, yeah, he's got 2 blots in his board. What am I thinking? You get more gammons this way. If he dances, maybe you're too good now. Those 2 blots in his board mean it's that too risky. If Yan comes in with a 1-6 or 5-6, that's all that hits. That's not very many rolls. That's 4 rolls. Now, are you too good? Yeah, probably. That's not a very good roll. No, I might have duplicated 1s there and made. I guess you don't want to make that a 0.6 away. Too hard to clear. I might have duplicated 1s. How smart was that? Is he still too good? It certainly would be a pass at this score. That's what I do at first. I ask myself, would my opponent take? I think he's passing. Then am I too good? Because I've already lost my market. I don't have to worry about market losers if he's passing. What's a market loser? That means that he would pass on the next roll. I'd lose my opportunity to get him to take my product or the cube and win 2 points instead of 1, or maybe more. I think this is a pass and a double. I could see maybe Uching out a take here. I think it could be a take, but all right, he doubled. I would pass it, but I wouldn't say it's a horrible take. It's not too gammonish. No, he's going to hit loose on the ace. It could be gammonish real quick. With those 2 blots on, he's certainly going to hit with a 5 or a 7. I would lean towards the pass here. And he did. Okay.
4-6.
Correct.
It is 3 away, 5 away. This is something that's kind of goofy. Given no gammons, your take points are on the assumption of no gammons. Your live and dead cube take points. Then you adjust for gammons. With no gammons, it turns out the leader's take point is actually higher than the trailer's take point. The player who is behind actually has to drop a little bit faster. It's all about recube big. It's all about getting to Crawford. It's all about match equities. Now, Crawford is when one player gets 1 away from winning, and they're playing a match to 9. When one player gets to 8, nobody doubles or is allowed to double for 1 game. And then the next game, if the person who is behind wins, there'll be another game. And of course, you double the first roll if you're behind. And you certainly can take or pass if you're the leader. And here's where it gets tricky. And this is I'm not going to give a whole lesson on this, but you could have a free drop. After Crawford, if your opponent needs an even number of points or he has an odd number of points, you can drop the cube without any real pain or any penalty. So you would drop immediately, even if you only had 49% and he had 51%. Okay, Morton Howe says it was too good by .074. That's almost a blunder. It was too good at 3-6, and I really suspected it was, and he doubled quickly, and I was really in shock about that. I was in shock that he doubled at all, but I was in shock that he did it that quickly. It looked pretty much like it was too good to me. Now, how is a situation too good? It's too good if you're going to win too many gammons compared to the number of games you might lose, but that's not the only criteria. It's mostly about what happens on the next roll. How often on the next roll does he have a market gainer where he has a possibility to take compared to your chances of winning gammons or improving to where you're in a safe position. So it was a pretty safe position to play on. And a lot of gammons possibilities. So I think that was a very bad cube by Yan. Gambling doesn't always mean giving the cube. Sometimes you're gambling by not giving the cube. We saw Michy do that earlier when he was too good and it got turned around. Cost him. But that's just bad luck. That happens. And it's going to happen sometimes. That's the fun thing about the game. All right, they're taking a break. So will I for just a minute or two and rest my voice. After this match, we will take a break until 10 p.m. Monte Carlo time, which I understand would be 4 p.m. Eastern time, Eastern U.S. time, 6-hour difference. And I have to go have a crappy meal at Nobu, and Nobu. They've got this dish there that I do happen to like. They bring you hot rocks and raw meat. You throw the meat over the heated rocks, and it cooks in front of you. And what I like about it is I like my meat really, really rare. So I just sort of wave it over the rocks and then eat it. It's almost like carpaccio for me. And you want to know where I learned such a big word? Because one of the beauties of being in Monte Carlo is you're very close to Italy. And several times that I've come to Monte Carlo, I've taken off and gone to Italy. My good friend, Jason Briggs, and some of his friends are going right from here to Portofino afterwards for a little vacation. Jason and his son Charlie, some of their friends are going to Portofino. I am forced to go back to the States, however, because my son's getting married. So I'm pretty happy about that. Oops. I'm supposed to mention this book that you're seeing right now, Backgammon Masterclass, and the Backgammon boards. Wilson is having some fun with me here. Let's do a little advertising. Let me tell you something. I have no financial interest in the boards, books, or anything that Backgammon Galaxy sells, and I will tell you firsthand, with unequivocally, they're all very quality products. Their customer service is amazing. I just bought the day that Mochi and Mark's book came out. I bought the book, and it came beautifully packaged, very quick. I got a follow-up email making sure I got it. I got another follow-up email asking me how much I liked the product. So it was really a blessing. It really very nice to work with those people. They're very, and then every now and then I get a follow-up email. Am I interested in this board? They got this, the new board, the Neptune board just came out. Would I be interested in that? So they do a really good job of marketing. That's why I block them. I'm sorry, I never block my friend Mark Olson and his group. The app, by far the best backgammon app ever made. Yes, it's the best backgammon app if you want to play other people and play other players. There's nothing that comes close to that app. To play on an iPhone or a smartphone, that it really is. I'll say, and I have no financial interest there either. Now there are other apps like Backgammon NJ and BG. I'm sorry, BG. Extreme Gammon, the apps that are really good for learning tools as well. It's called XG Mobile, by the way, not Extreme Gammon. It's called XG Mobile, and it isn't your complete program at all. And for those of you who are tired of hearing me, when we get into the main tournament, I'm going to have guest commentators with me. Maybe not the first round because everybody's going to be playing, but after the first couple of rounds, well, everybody's going to be playing first, second, third rounds. But after we get into it, when we get to the really important matches, you betcha I'm going to have people who know what they're talking about sitting next to me and the XG feed, and I'll just add a little color here and there and let them take it. So you'll have much better quality commentary later on. So keep watching. Don't get bored with my voice and my commentary. And I know some of you like my commentary. That's why I'm here. And for those of you who like it, that's why I'm here. Everybody, you can't please everybody. But I agree that my commentary, by the kind of commentary I'm giving you now, would not be appropriate or good when we get down to the World Championship finals and semifinals. I'll be there, but I'll be talking a little bit differently, and I'll have some real quality analysts with me, and we'll have XG. Even I can look good when I can see XG's answer and tell you what right and why. I can usually come up with the right why if I see the answer. Somebody said, have I heard of gammon snap? The answer is no. I never heard of it. Somebody said, can we have Victor from the back? Let's see where Victor is. Victor, they're crying for you. Come on. You're tired? Okay. All right. It's nice to see you anyway. Okay, at 10 p.m. we'll see Victor actually playing, and I'll be doing the commentary. I can't wait. And what makes me really happy is last time I saw Victor, he said he wasn't sure he was coming to Monte Carlo, and here you are. It's a place he can't win? Yeah, if they were playing strictly for PR, you could win. Chris Stretcher, I could use a little.
Okay.
Hey, Chris, don't waste your voice talking to him. Come help me. Yeah, I'm always looking for second best. If I can't get Victor, I'll take Chris. Right, best is busy. Talking to an attractive lady. I know your priorities. All right, I'm going to be joined by my really good friend and also an incredible teacher, Chris Trencher from New York City, who is a great backgammon teacher as well as player and analyst. Let's make sure your mic is on. There we go.
I'm
and
half of
save my
here.
voice and take it away. You've been watching? Okay, we're all set.
We need to adjust the camera a tiny bit. So you want to move right?
Do we need to? No, I want you just out of the picture. This is perfect.
Oh, you want me just out?
This is, no, come on. So she'll adjust the camera.
Oh.
Anytime you have a problem.
If you have a problem, you just yell Tara. You push the Tara button.
That's right.
Yeah,
you push the Tara button? Right, that's great. All right, I'll watch the comment. Is MCG in the house? I don't think he's here.
I've not seen him yet.
He hasn't been here yet.
We got Michy off to a nice start from 5 away, 3 away. Okay, and that was a nice return by Jan. So Michy now is just going to try to inch his way to a double, work this racing lead home. Obviously, this not what he was looking for.
And being down by 2 points at 5 away, 3 away, aren't you? You're going to have a little bit more itchy finger on the cube, if there's, especially if there's gammons.
A little bit. It's similar to 4 away, 2 away, but obviously not quite as extreme in terms of the gammon go characteristics. But clearly Jan can't take anything gammonish here. But that's how. But with him having made the 20-point,
Mark Olson came up with a term for that. He called it gammon go light.
Gammon go light.
I like that. I really like that. It puts you in the right mindset for the score. Hitting off the ace point is often a bad play.
Yeah,
but sometimes
I don't like this because Michy is not threatening anything in particular. You normally do this when you are desperate to prevent your opponent from doing something, but Michy's not threatening anything other than to escape that blot on the 14 points.
Or if your opponent has a bunch of blots around the board.
Yeah.
And he's justly punished.
This was not a tempo situation. So if he wanted to make a big play, I would have done what he was looking at, which is 13-9, and then either the 5 or the 7 slot. Now he bans, and I have to think Michy's going to double this because there are some gammon threats now. He can attack on the 3-point, and he will win a few running gammons here if the attack goes well, and he does double.
Great analysis. I'm really glad you sat down. You said it so well. Chris is one of our Backgammon Learning Center teachers. He's available for live and online lessons, mostly live though.
Prefer live, yeah.
Prefer live in New York mostly, but he'll travel to Africa for the right
price if it comes with a nice safari trip too. and this is
great roll.
This is exactly what Michy wanted for him to take the cube, and now Michy's gonna he'll want to bring that back checker out, but he'll also want to reposition the spare on the midpoint to the firing range of the deuce, the 6 or the 4, because if Jan comes in on the deuce, Michy needs to hit him quickly to max his gammon vig, max his gammons. 3-1, so he'll swing the blot around presumably, and then definitely want to put a checker on the 6-point next roll. All right.
Oops.
So Jan does come in, but he rolls a 6, so that's obviously very good for him.
Yes. Great roll.
Now, if Michy comes in with a 6 here, I think he's going to hit loose, but he didn't.
This is not a great roll for Michy. It doesn't do anything.
Now, Jan will definitely want to move up with the 3 if he can.
No, he won't.
Not this 3. Not this 3.
Open mouth, insert foot.
Open mouth, insert. Okay, now Jan has a game.
Yep.
And Michy's back into just win the game mode.
Are you sure he had a take or not?
No, I would have looked at that longer.
Yeah, I would have too. I wasn't sure of the take.
He took it quicker than I would have.
Yep. Well, maybe he's hungry. It's it's a dinner break. Ooh. 6-1, you almost always make the bar point, but there's a good hit here.
You're hitting for sure. The question is, what are you doing with the ace? The really big play is to play 8-7, because then in Michy fans, you're going to cover next roll. This I don't like as much, but
you don't like it? I don't like it. It must be right. Michy made it. Say no more.
Well, I guess he figured if he gets a second checker back, he's in big trouble for winning the game. So I certainly understand.
What's his game plan now? He's racing, and you don't want to get hit when you're racing.
He's just trying to get home.
Yeah, just try to get home. That's what a racing game is. Leaving that blot there would be counter productive is the word I was looking for.
Yeah, I think Jan has a nice game, though.
Hey, we got Matt Congar making comments. They just asked, is Matt around? Obviously, he's not. He's making comments. Matt, are you coming to Monte Carlo? We miss you the hell out of you. One of the first times I did commentary in Monte Carlo was with you, me, and Falafel. And Matt liked the hit and lift also.
Oh, he did like that, okay.
Well, good. We got a third hidden commentator with Matt.
I think you're playing 3-2 here just to save an emergency 3. It's the ship has sailed on the aesthetics.
Wow, nice play, Chris. I'm not sure I would have made that play, leaving the 3 blots, but who cares? He's not going to.
Well, Michy's not going to win any neatness awards this
year.
Nice
now you come down. You want to clear. You want to just race. Come from the back and bring them in. When you're up in the race, just race.
Joe Russell's here. Make sure that we don't make any mistakes in the commentary.
Joe, we invited you to dinner at Nobu tonight at 7 if you want to join us.
I've got it.
You got another appointment? Okay. We were hoping you'd come and pay. The other day, 4 of us went out to lunch and we played a game called Schwazi, and Chris got hit with the bill.
Chris and Joe.
Oh, Chris split it with Joe. That's right. Blake and I walked away with a free lunch, and there was no cheap lunch either.
I much prefer the 1-point matches.
I do too. I like the 1-point match. It just takes longer. But that's
I like the old rule of thumb that we would with 6 or 7 person meals, we would draw straws, and then the loser would play a 1 point match with Phil for the bill. That seemed like the most sense.
It's fun, but that's part of the fun of going out to dinner with everybody. Even there, we're gambling for the check. One day in Las Vegas, my son got hit with. There were 11 of us to dinner, and he got hit with a $2,200 bill, and my son was the only loser. Welcome to the world of backgammon. Here's another way to say welcome.
All right, so let's see.
What are the gammon chances here?
Michy has 12 crossovers, including taking a guy off.
I think it's close.
But he could roll small, and obviously,
I think
Jan has 12 crossovers.
I think he's favored to get a gammon.
I think it's very close. My guess it's about 60% right now.
David Rockwell came up with a really good formula for this, and I forgot what it is. So, how helpful was that?
1, 2, 9 crossovers.
I don't think he is favored yet.
Not now, not after double threes.
Even before, but the thing is, small doubles work for him. It don't work for the other side.
Yeah. I mean, Jan doesn't always get 4 rolls here.
Talk so they can hear you too. One, 2, 3, 4 rolls.
Has to be right to place 8-7 here.
Yeah, you want to be sure you come in with an ace.
Yeah, exactly.
Crossovers are critical when you're getting off gammons.
All right, so
Crossing over from one quadrant to the next.
So Jan needs only 4 crossovers now. So Michy has to have a double.
Michi's needs a double.
Yeah.
A double here gets off the gammon, or Michi's double gets the gammon. Now every roll gets you off unless Michy rolls doubles. Never happens.
I
Practice
think
roll.
we had this pegged right that he was a slight favorite way back because he did roll double threes and Michy never rolled a double.
Oh, there it is. That was big. Wow. That's why Michi's one of the best in the world. He knows when to roll doubles. Wow, that was big. Very, very big.
All right.
Now it's 1 away, 3 away. Well, here's what the one thing you got to think about before this game starts. Do gammons matter? The answer is almost not at all. All it would do if he wins a gammon is take away his opponent's free drop, which is worth about 2.5%. So you play this game at what we call DMP. You don't care about gammons. You just try to win the game. Yep. And I can't tell you how many people I see who are losing here that are gambling for a gammon, and how many people who are winning are playing safe because they don't want to get gammon, and it doesn't matter. It's just nuts. So never start a game without figuring that stuff out. And if you get it wrong a couple times, you're playing with XG, you'll see why it's wrong and you'll learn. All you do is make the mistake 16 times like I do and you'll learn. Remind me to ask you my burning question, Mr. Trencher, after we have some time that doesn't interrupt the game. Because I've got a burning question from you that I want to ask in front of everybody. And it's not about your sex life or anything like that.
That won't take long to discuss.
Okay. Oh, wow. Hit and make a point? You hit and make the bar? I think you make the inside point because you're putting a checker up. And he agrees. Wow, Michy, you agreed with me?
I would have done that, though. I think it's I think the advantage of that play over the bar is much less at DMP.
I agree.
But you can't.
I agree.
But you want to put those guys on the 6 point.
There's no gammon value, but you still win the game more with that play. That's the point, because you're going to get more dances and less flexibility coming in with inside points. And by the way, if you're trying to win a race, which is all you're trying to do when you don't care about gammons, inside points are much more valuable than outside points, because you eventually have to get those inside points or leave lots. The outside points, if you make them, you just have to break them. So I love making the 3 point instead of the bar.
So what does he do here? We're not considering 10-3, which would be the only quote unquote safe play.
I slot a second point. I bring 5 down and I slot the 4. It's me.
I think I would do this 2 down. The only other play to consider is to break the bar point, but then that leaves 2 direct shots.
I had the wrong player on roll. I'm sorry. I was totally in space.
This is my play.
Okay.
And now
appropriately punished.
no, I think this was the correct play.
Uh-huh. 5s and 1s. I'm thinking 5s and 1s. If I'm Michy. Because you know 5s and 1s hit. That looks like a 5-2. It might be a 4-2, but no, it is a 5-2.
I bring the 2 in 8 to 6. Get that guy more efficiently placed to work on the 4-point.
He's not trying to blitz him. He's just trying to come home.
Still don't love that play. That spare on the 8 is better placed on the 6. And, I mean, yeah, you get off double 1s, but...
Look how fast he did it. He must have been very confident. Nothing personal, Chris, but I think I would bet on the other play. Mainly because I saw Michy do it. I just play quietly. Bring it in. Yeah, that's me. I'm tempted to come out and give him a direct shot. Go to the 8 or... I'm sorry, go to the 9 or 10 point. I don't like leaving the checker inside. It's too vulnerable.
I would play 6 out and 4 to the 10 point.
Yeah, you and I agree. I think that 6 has to come out. It's just too delicious.
You also want to not give him 4-3 and 4-2 to make the point on your head.
Yeah.
So
Looks like he's about to do it. No. It's just waiting. It's even more delicious to attack that checker now with the blot.
well, there's no point in that checker being there. You're not looking to make the 20.
Yeah. And now it's not going to get hit because he had a 6 that he had to play. But if it was a 3 something else, he certainly would have been hit. Do you lift or continue? No. You don't lift?
I mean, you're not going to.
Again, gammons don't matter. You got to try and win the game.
You have to generate some sort of counterplay here. You need your 4 and 5 points. And with gammons not counting, I just play big and just play 16-15.
Playing big would be 13-12, but that's a little too big.
Yeah,
I like this play also. Hit and continue. Are you thinking about slotting? Oh my God. The problem with this play is I think it's unnecessary roughness.
Well, that's totally inconsistent with the 5-2.
Yeah.
If playing that 3 is right there, then it had to be correct to play 8-6 with the 2 before.
I make plays like that. I make moves like that just to have some fun with my opponent, to tease him a little bit. You could hit off the ace here, but if gammons mattered again, you might do it. In fact, if gammons mattered, I would hit off the ace, but not.
Reason to. If you hit off the ace.
Well, I wouldn't at this score.
But if you hit off, but I'm not sure it'd be right anyway. If you hit off the ace, you're putting that checker on the ace is not poorly placed from Michy's perspective. I mean, obviously, in a situation where gammons count, maybe you would do that. But I think you just don't want to bury a checker that can be used to work on the 4 point.
Well, you agree with Matt Congeyer. He says hitting off the ace doesn't look good at any score except maybe gammon go, which is, I think, what I said.
Certainly not even considering it a DNP.
Well,
now maybe you have to hit off the ace.
I think you have to
play 18-13.
I think you have to.
We have to get off the bar.
Where else can you go? That's your only 5, and hitting off the ace is your only 6.
This is the only viable play.
Yeah, it's forced by logic. I wouldn't waste my time on the clock on this one.
Well, the only other play is hitting 6 and then 5 down, but which prevents any counter attacks. But you do need to get off the bar at some point.
I didn't even consider this play, and you and Michy both did.
I think he's ultimately going to play 18-13 with the 5. All right, that might be the break that Jan needed. Still got a long way to go, but
Ooh, I hit.
we're playing big here. Come up with the 3 and hit with the ace.
That's right. I hit. Making that point, there's just 75% of the time your opponent comes in and cleans up and does something. So yeah, I think you got to put that second checker up and gamble. He doesn't roll a 2.
That's more than 2. It's double 1, double
Yeah.
double 5. But Michi's
A joker.
Michi's going to need to roll poorly, 3, 4, 5 rolls in a row here.
Yeah.
But he might as well go for it. And if Michy does hit that 2, there's variations.
Ooh, big jam.
Where there's variations where he backs into a 2-4 game. Now if he hits the 2, there's variations where Jan can establish a 2-4 game. But mostly he just wants Michy.
And by the way, the 2-4 game is Kit Woolsey's favorite back game, he told me, as long as there's checkers in the outfield.
Yeah, all right.
Here it is. You called it. 2-4 back game.
Yeah, I mean he's still mostly going forward.
Yeah.
But he has more different game plans now, depending on what the dice bring.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
This is going to be a very tricky play. I don't care what the roll is. This is going to be tricky. Hit.
I hit him.
Hit.
Let's see what happens.
Hit. I knew it was going to be a tricky. There's hardly any roll you could think of that isn't tough to play here. This is why backgammon has not been. People say, "Oh, we got the computer now; it's been mastered." You're looking at 2 great players who often aren't sure which play is right. And I'm not talking about me and Chris, although Chris is a great player. Chris, I voted for Chris on my Giants list this year, and I put him up pretty high. You made the list, didn't you?
I did make it this year.
Atta boy, you deserve it.
Thank you.
It's part of my burning question for you later. I'm going to ask you. I made the Giants list in the 64. Second time I've done that in my career. But I don't think I made it on skill. I think people just, because of my commentary and other reasons, they wanted to honor me.
You've been part of the community for a long, long time. The BLC is the biggest and best, organized teaching program with the deepest set of resources.
Yeah, but usually people
you play quite well, and your sense of humor is on sometimes. Yeah,
on sometimes.
So you've got a
Thank you. I wasn't fishing for
portfolio of things going for you.
It sounds like I fished for that. I wasn't fishing for compliments. But thank you.
I'll give credit where it's due. And your sense of humor is off sometimes, so
Yeah.
we had to weigh that too. But but on balance,
and I need to say something kind to you in return. I don't think you're an idiot at all.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was big. Might be right, because you didn't have too much else you could do.
Well, he could have come in on the ace and up on the 2.
Yeah.
And just not exposed 2 more blots.
And it could bite him right now if he keeps dancing.
I don't know about that play.
Yeah.
I think I might have come in on the ace and played 23-21 before I exposed 2 more blots, because now Jan's going to have a lot of meat on the bone.
Yeah, but he's got those 2 checkers on the 23 point. That
All right.
And
All right, yeah, but now
he rolled the 2.
Now he just plays 9-6 with the 3, and
Yep.
now it's not clear who's going forward and who's going backwards.
That's right.
But Jan has the better anchor now.
I don't see. There's no options. You had no other play. I wouldn't go to the ace. And this is the same. You just come down. Oh.
I like this play.
Oh.
When
I didn't.
I like this play. Michi in a lot of variations going to attack that checker on the deuce point. There's going to be some hitting back and forth here, and the 4 point's going to be a lot more valuable than the 8 point when the hitting starts going in both directions.
Oh, look at this. He didn't hit twice. He only hit. If Gammon's Metter, you hit twice, but he didn't hit twice here. Wow. There's 2 plays in a row that were off of my radar.
The 6 is really bad for Jan. Obviously,
wow. I would have blown both those plays, both of them.
Well, now you can hit twice if you want.
If I was in a chouette right now, I'd be saying, hit two.
Let's raise this an interesting question. What is Michy going to do here? He can't play. He's got to hit one of those guys.
The main reason you
Wow.
do it, it's
Look
fun. It's fun. It's a fun play.
I don't know, but hitting once was forced. I don't know about hitting twice.
I would have hit twice at a flash.
But
I'm a gambler.
could very well be
I'm
right.
a gambler.
I mean, Michi's exposed and needs to not be counterattacked.
This is a beautiful game we're seeing here. This is really intricate, and they're playing They're both playing very fast. There's some really tough decisions
Well,
there.
now there's a risk for Michy that his position could fall apart because if he comes in deep like this, and Jan can roll a 5 or a 6 next roll with a number that picks up that blot, Michi's going to wind up with.
I put them all on the 23.
Totally disconnected position where Jan has control of the outfield.
Mm-hmm. I put them all on the 23.
Yeah.
Even though gammons don't matter, I just need the flexibility to be able to get out of there. Not be stuck back on the 24 point.
All right, it's just plays for Jan.
Wow, you don't see this position every day.
No.
That's-
Big shot for Michy. Michy needs Michy needed a good out and lift shot, 5-2, 5-3, 6-2, 6-3, 5-4, 6-4 type numbers, and he got one. And now Jan didn't get out. So, particularly if Michy can get one more guy in the outfield, he's going to become a favorite in the game. But he didn't. So now he'll play...
he has to play in.
He'll play 17-14, and then he's got to play the 4 inside.
Yeah, throw away a checker. He didn't like it, but you have to. Couldn't leave a shot there. A direct, I mean.
All right.
Cover. Out and cover.
Yep. Oops, the 5s to get out
does.
and hit.
In fact, you have to hit with the 5. You can't leave the shot. Uh-oh. Look at this. Wow. I guess you got to play something off the 3-point.
Yeah.
That's it.
Jan will be very happy just to roll another 5.
Ooh.
So the 6 has to come out
Why? Why can't he just play around?
because I don't want to play 16-6 because then if Jan rolls a number that comes out and lifts that blot, then or Michy rolls that, then Jan will be the
Look
chance
how
to break.
quick you called that.
The 6 out is forced, I think.
Wow.
The 4 I'd have to think about. I don't know that there's much difference. Maybe we could find a difference.
I might have missed that 6 out too. Well, I'm glad you're sitting here.
All right, so
It isn't that horrible to get hit too. Like you got the blot there. You got outboarded.
oh yeah, Michi's hitting for sure here. You want to take that guy away. That guy was a source of timing. And even if you knew that the Jan was rolling a 2, it might be right for Michy to hit.
What do you do now? You come out? I do.
What else can I do? I don't want to give the direct 5, and we need the timing.
I like this play. Looks very big.
I would do this.
Looks very big.
I would do this. XG keeps teaching us take chances to make sure you don't break in these types of positions. The worst thing you can do in a prime versus prime type structure, which is break.
And he did it. He didn't do it. He did not do it. Interesting. And Matt Congeyer agreed with you and me. He didn't like that 12-7 play.
All right, well, if I got MCG on my side,
Well, that's
that changes the odds a little bit.
that's a lot. He's not called genius for nothing.
I know.
He's called genius because he was smart enough to learn everything he knows from me. And if you believe that,
You're not a genius.
I like Joe Theismann's quote. He was doing a football game and he's talking about geniuses in football. He says, there's no geniuses in football. A genius is someone like Norman Einstein. That was Norman Einstein, not you got it? Okay.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
So
I don't want to be condescending. Do you want me to explain what condescending means?
no, you told me once.
Okay.
And I, despite what you would have thought I remembered when you explained it to me.
Big roll
Michy's
here.
very much in the game. If you
Yep.
could just.
Oh,
Oh
look
well,
at
not
that.
that's.
How about very much,
saying-
very, very, very much in the
I
game?
was saying if he could just get one in the outfield here, that'd be a fine shot.
How
but
big
this
a
is-
joker was that?
I'm going to say it was in the top few numbers. All right. Doesn't make the 23 here. It's got to play 6-3. He needs to maximize his 2s and 3s. That
Again,
exit.
if you were worried about getting gammon, you would make the point. That's why it's so important to know whether gammons matter or not.
Actually, I don't really agree with that. I don't think it's ever right to make the anchor there because you just kill your winning chances if you anchor up.
If you're on gammon save, you make that anchor.
Gammon save, yes. Middle
Okay.
score where gammon value
Right.
was pretty close to
Right.
money. I wouldn't.
I like this play, and I come up from the rear.
Yeah, I agree.
And you don't. Oh, that's
Michy,
not.
This is a bad number for Michy, but
Yeah. Oh, he's
I mean-
hitting anyway.
I mean he doesn't have any very bad numbers, but this is a number that gives
But
gives Jan a chance.
I'm not sure I would have hit there.
Well, you don't want that guy getting into the outfield.
Really? Oh, bad incoming number.
Yep.
That's terrible.
This
You-
should,
You're better off dancing sometimes instead of that.
Michy can just about lock it up here. And he rolls the 2. Assuming he can jump the 3 prime next
Yeah.
roll, he's just about got it. Which is now a 2 prime.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to score it. Then we're going to go to dinner. Oh, it's good. We have our reservations are in 6 minutes at Nobu, and you're coming with me. But I'm going to ask my burning question right now.
All right.
A few years ago, not too long ago, I've known Chris Trencher and played with you for years. We used to play at the Ace Point Club 40 years ago, was it? 30, 40 years ago? You're a good player, but you were never the kind of a scary, you weren't a giant. Yeah, I think your game dramatically improve in the last few years, or is it just that we're seeing you more?
No, I think starting in around 2013, after I wound down my fund, I started going on the ABT tour more, and that's when I started recording the matches, printing out all my errors, studying them, playing around with the sensitivities, and just basically studying the game to move from a 450 to 5 level player, which I probably would have been at the time, to where I am now, which is probably about 375 on average.
Okay, 375. That's you deserve to be on the Giants list.
Yeah.
That's where you're right where you belong.
Too many passes of easy takes on cubes.
Okay,
That
so
looks ugly sometimes,
you answered part of my question. You did get much better in recent years. What was your major strategy for getting better? How did you do that?
just studying.
You study, deliberate practice.
Right? Look out the.
Not just playing the game. You really study.
I study. I study the errors I make in tournaments in detail, including the less exciting positions, and then obviously I'm sometimes playing fun matches on Galaxy or some of the smaller WBIF tournaments on Heroes, and I'll study that stuff as well.
Okay, well, it's deliberate practice. You really studied the game.
Yeah.
I have a favorite saying.
I don't think any of the very top players would get there through any other route.
There's probably a couple of naturals out there. They used to say Falafel was a natural. You and I remember walking into the East Point Club in the early morning. He was up all night looking at positions in snowy.
Well, that's a form of study.
Yeah, I'm saying he was studying.
Yeah.
People think who were wrong to say he was just a natural player. He studied like crazy all night long.
Yeah.
He had a burning passion to learn. And it paid off. He beat me a couple times.
Here's the question. I think Michy should pick and pass here just in case. It looks like
Because the race is not
like the
gin, right?
yeah. Well, it certainly looks like he's still far more likely to lose in the race than to get hit and lose that way.
So if I had to characterize this match now, I would say that I disagree with a lot more of Michy's plays than Jan's plays. And if you put it next G, I'm sure you will find that Michy, I'm sure, almost certainly you wouldn't bet that Jan would outplay Michy. You wouldn't bet it hardly anybody would outplay Michy.
There's one play that I disagreed with Michy earlier in this game, which got Jan into the game, where he had a 2-1 off the roof and he anchored on the 23 and split the two guys in the outfield.
Yeah.
I think I would have been unwilling to split the guys in the outfield and played bar 24 23-21. It let him take my chances on Jan working over the 2 blots rather
Yeah.
than getting 2 more blots involved.
Yeah.
And again, it being DNP affects that calculation.
Right, because Michy if Michy was at all afraid of getting gammon, I'm sure he wouldn't have made that play. And sometimes you go overboard when you say, "Oh, I can't get gammon," and you still play too loose, and you end up losing.
So that's the play that, since I've been here, that's actually the play that most interests me to have a look at.
Nice match, gentlemen. Shook hands. Very well done. Michy advances, and Jan played courageously, made some great plays. I'm sure that a couple of them I disagree with were probably wonderful plays.
It's been a nice run for Jan. I don't think we know him that well.
Nope.
He gave Michy all he can handle. Of course, he beat Victor earlier today, which is just
Oh, he beat Victor.
Yeah.
That's how he's here, huh?
so. He doesn't play at quite at their level, but he's acquitted himself very well. Didn't get starstruck, and he's not going to cash in this. But
Okay, everybody.
nice showing.
We're going to be back in 3 hours at 10 o'clock Monte Carlo time. It's right now 7 o'clock, and we'll have a great match. I think Victor will be in. I think Victor said
Victor and Wilcox is obviously going to be with some of these streams.
Wow, Victor and Wilcox.
Yep.
That's. I'll bet the PRs are within 0.04 of each other. They're that good.
I thought I let you make the
Mark
decision.
Olson was joining you to do commentary on the 10 o'clock match between Wilcox and
Okay, Mark Olson, Tara just informed me, will be joining me on the commentary at 10 o'clock. So we'll have somebody who knows what he's talking about. And I'm very pleased that I had somebody who knows what he's talking about this time, too. Chris, thank you for coming. It's a pleasure.
Thanks for having me.
We're going to dinner.
All right.
Good night, everybody. We'll see you in 3 hours.
Good match. I want to have a look at your 2-1 at that last game.